Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. You're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. And we're in Isaiah chapter 51. Chapter 51 of the book of Isaiah. Yes. All praises to the Most High for this past Sabbath. And also thank God for the Passover. Yes, and that he said you will bind up your loins and you will wear your shoes and you will eat the Passover meal. Well, many have made up their own way of doing the Passover. But really there's nothing you can do. But to remember it is good. To rest and to just go through the motions, I suppose, would be okay. But the Most High always is absolute and, should I say, exact in the Most High's instructions. See, we can't take the Most High as the ambiguous evil spirits that talk to our minds. The Most High doesn't do that. The Most High tells you exactly what he means and means what the Most High says. There is no gaps in the time that the Most High has. But the Most High is the one that does what he does without any guessing. Or if the Most High does give you a parable, it's readily understandable and not to be a confusion. The confusion starts with men and evil spirits. This is what the confusion is. But we thank God for the Passover in that it gives us a glimpse to the part of the deliverance, that one day this world is going to be at peace, that one day our God will rule. It's not us. We can't think about the Passover or the coming of the I Am to be that the I Am rules, that we are in charge. No, it's not about us. You're thinking about yourself. That is selfish. The fact is, the I Am, the Creator, that is the one that rules. It's not about you or me. It's about the Creator, the I Am, Sanini Nanini, Yahweh, and Yahuwah, or however you pronounce his name or say his name or argue that that's his name or not. I believe Moses said that he that has no name at one time. But the fact is, and then the Most High told him, I am that I am. In other words, you don't know me. You cannot fathom me, is what the I Am says in my perspective. Perception, I put it that way. In my perception, that is what the Most High is saying. So the fact is that it's all about God. It's not about you, me, your position in your religious hierarchy. Because the fact is, the Most High did this in the Levitical priesthood. What did the Most High do? He took a whole people's, not that one should rule or the people should obey because of his own. His stance was the law. The law was the word, is the word of God. The law is the word of the I Am, the Creator. Yes, this is the law. The statutes, ordinances, and laws come from the Creator. That is where the word, what we say as we cliche, the word of God is. That comes from the mouth and the heart of the Most High. Yes, some religions do a little of what's contained in the law and they have this and that, but still their own perspective. For instance, you have one country that says a murderer should not be murdered, but he should just be cast in prison where we can make some money off of him. An adulterer, that's no big deal. See, the Most High laws are absolute and concrete and cannot be changed. They will be out throughout your generations. So when the Most High rules, those laws will stand even again. But men will know the laws of the Most High, will not desire to go against them. Even the law that's within our hearts, we know that we don't want those things done to us. Yes. This is the Passover, that things would return back to the Most High. That is when the Most High pass over you, is because you have been accepted, because you accept the Most High for who the Most High is, even your King, your God, and your Creator. Yes, not about you, not about me. The Most High doesn't join you. The Most High don't follow you. The Most High is not beside you at all. The Most High is in front of you that you should follow. because the Most High leads, and the leading of the Most High is mainly through the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. Yes. Yeah, we're in the book of Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 51. Chapter 51. It reads, "Hearken unto me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that follow after the righteousness of the Most High, which is the law." Period. "That ye seek the I am." Yes, "and look unto the rock which ye are hewn." Daniel talked about this rock. The prophet Daniel talked about the rock. The rock is the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances, where you were shaped and molded until you got a hold of some other people who started working on that rock or that mountain. But then Daniel said what he said. He said, "I saw there was a small stone that was chipped out of the rock, and it came and hit the image, the man-made image, the image of a man." Yes, it could have been looking like your Esau's or whatever you picture he looked like, but it was a man. So this lets me know that this man is not what God is talking about. That is idolatry. It was an idol. It hit the man in the foot, this idol, but the man represented different things. And what happened to that foot? Everything that it supported fell and was ground into powder, according to the book of Daniel. And today, "Hearken unto me, ye that follow after the law, the righteousness of the Most High," after righteousness, "that ye seek the I am." Seek. You follow after the law, you seek the I am for all that he would have for you. "And look unto the rock, one who cannot be moved, one who does not change. And to the hole of the pit which ye are digged." He's saying you come from some rough stuff, and you're going to turn to idols. You're going to turn to a Yahushai or Yahusha or Jesus or whatever, Yeshua. No. He said, "Look unto Abraham your father." This is part of the rock. Abraham followed the commands of the Most High. "And unto Sarah that bare you, for I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him." Why? Because Abraham saw that this God was not made out of wood and stone. And we see today that this God is not made out of pictures and paintings and trinkets and metals. Oh yes, the Satans have shifted their way of getting you into idolatry and a demigod. Yes. He said, "I increased him," because what? Abraham looked to the I am. I increased him and Sarah because they looked unto the I am. He said, "For the I am shall comfort Zion. He will comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of the I am." Her waste places that was wasted by war and famine and sin, transgressions against the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. "Joy and gladness shall be found there in thanksgiving and a voice of melody." You're going to go singing, whether you sing gospel, the gospel genre, the country genre, or jazz genre, it's going to be a melody. It's a melody before the Most High. Yes, whatever makes your soul just praise and give glory to God. Yes. "Hearken unto me, my people," verse 4, "and give ear unto me, O my nation, for the law shall proceed from me." This is what the Most High is saying. Where does the law come from? The Most High. Who can change the law? Yo, Jesus can't. Yo, Paul cannot change the law. It was given once, and it will not change. Period. "And I will make my judgment to rest for the light of the people." The law is the light of the people. Whatever you have done against the law, God will judge whether you've done evil or good according to the law. That is the judgment. The sentence is a whole nother thing. Look to Deuteronomy chapter 28 for the sentence of disobeying the law. Period. And continuance in disobeying. "My righteousness is near." My law is near is what he's saying. "My salvation is gone forth." In other words, to save you from your enemies. At this point in time, it's to save you from your enemies that are your enemies now. Now. Not yesterday, not in the future, but now. If you would turn from those wicked ways and those idolatrous thoughts and, should I say, practices. Even your demigod, your Isises and your Yahwehshais and your Yahushas. Yes. And turn to the law. As much as you can do, that you can do. Because we have examples throughout the whole, should I say, diaspora of Israelites throughout history. They could not keep the law, but they kept Passover as best they could, and they kept the Sabbath mostly after they got off work or whatever. If you have to work on the Sabbath day, you are in captivity. You are in, should I say, you are held. You are in detention. If you have to keep the Sabbath day and you have to work. And I got one more thing. You know, on the Sabbath, they did not have the Gregorian calendar in the day that the Sabbath was instituted. That was in the beginning. There was no Gregorian calendar then. There was no Saturday and Sunday. And the first day of the year when the children of Israel came out of the captivity of Egypt, there was no Gregorian calendar. So you have to make this make sense. Everything was done by the moon, the full moon, the new moon. The full moon basically was just to give light and to know when to do things at night. The new moon was to judge your plants and the year and the days and the months. Yes, this was the new moon. But many of you have gone the way of Balaam and have adopted paganistic things combined with even your knowledge of the Most High. Now, he says, now, let's continue. We shall continue on. He said, the law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to the rest for light of the people. My righteousness is near. That's the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. My salvation has gone forth in order to save you from your enemies now, to save you out of your predicament now. And mine arms, I ain't talking about no money. I'm talking about a land where your children can go, where lawlessness does not abide, where the law works for everyone. Even the laws that are written in the law of the Most High. Yes, from that of the creditor to the usurer to the adulterer, all these laws work in the Most High. But the thing that failed is that you became liberal. Liberal only means rebellion against God. All the world is liberal. All the world is liberal. And then when you do the things that are contained in the law, what does it say? What does it say? That's a tongue twister. What does it say? What does the world say? You're a hardliner. You're legalistic. Your God is a hardliner. Your God is a legalistic because he knows your flesh. He knows the demons and spirits that have fled because they want to go what seems right unto them. And they are jealous of you. Yes, true. Now let's continue. He says in verse 5, my salvation is gone forth, and my arm shall judge the people. The isle shall wait upon me, and my arm shall they trust. In other words, they shall want my deliverance. They see that I can deliver Israel. They see I can deliver the children of Jacob, the Israelite. I'm not talking about converts like that. But either way, they see my arm can deliver. My arm can save. Yes, and they will come. That's why Israel is for a beacon to the world. You don't have to go and tell folks about God. God is already known. They know there's a God. All they have to see is God work. But you have profaned even the thought of the Most High before the heathen and the Gentile world. Yes, look at your women. Look at your men. And how that you were cast out of the land and never to return. Look at these things. Why is it that there's so much confusion even in the simpleness of the scripture as far as the, should we say, the law of Moses? You're looking at a historical account versus the law itself. Stop looking at these historical accounts. They're good. They give you a glimpse of what's happening, but the 27 books were never meant for his story. It was meant for their story. But the fact is that God is the lawgiver. The lawgiver. Period. There's no other lawgiver but the Most High. And everything in the universe and the earth and any part that we do not know is governed by law. He says, now, they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. He says, my righteousness is near. Their eyes shall wait upon me, and my arm shall they trust. Because of you, Israel. Because of you, Israelite, they shall trust. Lift up your eyes to heaven. In other words, lift up your eyes to heaven and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment. And they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished. You know, the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances are forever. They are forever for mankind. They are forever, even though Jacob is to be, or supposed to have been, the example. We should be like the angels, worshiping God every chance we get, thinking of the Most High every chance we get. We should be like him, and the Most High will allow these hideous things to pass over you. This is what the Passover was about. They kept their minds stayed on the Most High and the things that the Most High to do. God has conditioned Israel to do these things. And so what happened? That angel passed over them. The life was given, and the life was shown upon the doorposts. The life of what else can be pure but a lamb. All it knows is to walk by its nature. That's it. Or else it will die if it walks not according to its nature. If it goes astray, what happens? The wolves get it. Innocent, yes. Some do go astray and they wind up in a ravine somewhere, and all you see is a bunch of wool. What is God saying? You go toward all these demigods and all this idolatry, you will be just like these lambs that go astray and wind up in this whole flocks. Israel is a whole flock that have walked according to their own mind, their own what seems right. You can do things. We're free. Israel, you are free. Israelite, you're free. Why should you yet still make yourself bound from those things that you were bound by, even the religions that you have come from? You're free. And one thing about lambs, they mass together. They mass together. They walk in their flocks. They stay with the herd. But when the herd walks another way, a way that shouldn't be walked, then there's a problem. They fall among wolves and thieves and, should I say, predators to fill their bellies. And this is what happened to you. Learn from the lamb. Learn from the lamb. And again, we're in verse, he says in verse 6, lift up your eyes to the heavens. Look upon the earth beneath, for the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment. And they that dwell in shall die in like manner. He said the earth is going to be wiped out, period, is what he's saying. Or wiped, or however the Most High shall do that. It doesn't matter to me. As long as I'm having the Most High in my view, as long as I have the Most High in my thoughts and in my actions toward that I do every day according to his laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. Yes, this means a lot. Doesn't matter. Even death is no good. You cannot kill once you're killed once. That's a true saying. Once they can take you and unalive you or whatever, there's nothing else they can do. That's all. Period. Hearken unto me that ye that know righteousness. You that know what right is. The law of the Most High is righteousness. Oh, you got to do what is right. But he ain't right. What is right? The right is the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances and laws. That is righteousness. That is the righteousness of God, not no one man. And that in that case, that was the righteousness of God would have been what? A lamb. The righteousness of God is obedience to the righteousness and to the voice of the Most High. That is counted unto you righteousness. Yes. And my salvation from generation to generation. He says, whose heart is in my law. See, this is what we're saying. For ye are not the reproach of men. Fear ye not the reproach of men, because you obey the law. Why are you scared of what men gonna say because you obey the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances, the Passovers, the Sabbaths? Why are you upset about these people? These people are lost, not you. These people have gone the way of Cain. They have done the way of Balaam, not you. They went the way of Israel, who ran after Rehoboam or Jeroboam, not you. But you seek righteousness. You seek to do right before the Most High, like even as David during and those kings in his line that once ruled, now they are no more. He says, now, but my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. So if you do the righteousness of the Most High, you shall be forever. If righteousness is in your loins to do them, and that you have saturated yourself with the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High, that you do them, then you're going to be forever. Because God's righteousness is forever. Salvation from generation to generation. In other words, people can come and talk, and your children, if they do that which you have taught them, will be able to withstand your enemies. They will withstand people who will try to take things from them. They will withstand everything that will come against them. Because these things come against you for a test to show you your own heart. God already knows your heart, but you don't know your heart. You constantly deceive yourself. This is why the test comes. Now, let's continue. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of the I Am. This is who we trust in. The arm of the I Am. Not the arm of man, not in his nukes, his bombs, his bullets. No, that's not what we trust. But we trust in the arm of the Most High, that he might take what our bullets, our guns, our whatever we have can subdue the enemy. Our wit, our money, and our wisdom. To subdue our enemies, to show that the Most High way is right. He says now, as in the ancient days, as in the days of old, thou art not, it hath cut Rahab and wounded the dragon. The dragon. Art thou not it that hath cut Rahab and wounded the dragon? Art thou not it which dried the sea? This is the arm of the Most High. The waters of the great deep that have made the depths of the sea a way for the ransom to pass over. Say the death pass over you, and you're going to pass over away from it. Pass over from the sea of sin and, should I say, transgression against the laws, commandments, statutes, and ordinances of the Most High, and pass over into righteousness. In other words, yield. Go into it. Walk into the deep. See, this is where they come up with that baptism stuff. Baptism is no good. What you do, you circumcise your males, and you do that which is right before the Most High, and you'll fare well. Yes. On the 8th day. And they make it even hard for you to do that. Some of you never circumcised your children or got them circumcised, and now they have to grow up old and maybe have found the Most High some kind of way, and all of a sudden here they are not circumcised because of the foolishness of their own parents. Now, even in this day, it costs money. because no man wants to just do himself like that. It's really painful. You want to get it over with and endure the sore period and get done. That's it. As a baby, you would never remember it. You just know it's done. Now, let us continue. He says in verse 10, art thou not it which have dried the sea and the waters of the great deep, that hath made the depths of the sea a way for the ransom to pass over? Therefore the redeemed of the I Am shall return and come with singing unto Zion. Yes, that's what they did during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. And everlasting joy shall be upon their heads, and they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. Yes, that did happen. This is what Isaiah is talking about at this time. Even I am he that comfort you, says the Most High. Who art thou that thou shouldest be afraid of man that shall die? Man's going to die. That idiot next to you is going to die. Why should you be afraid of him? Oh yes, he done his thing. He probably fought and got a few guns over there or whatever. But you don't be afraid of him as long as you're obeying what Most High told you to do. God will take care of him, and he will equip you and strengthen you to take care of him if ye need be. Yes. Now, he says, and the Son of Man, who shall be made as grass. All that pork and pig and all these scavengers and things that they eat, they're going to be sick. Many of them might live a long time, but they still live a life of sickness, wishing they were dead. Now he says, and forgettest thou the I Am thy maker, that thou hast stretched forth the heavens and laid forth the foundation of the earth, and have feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor? If he were ready to destroy, and his fury of oppressor. Where is the fury of the oppressor? Even those of you in oppressive lands, where you have oppressors, those who look like you and don't look like you, that hate you just for who you are or what you are. What does he say here? He says, and forgettest that I am your maker, that laid the foundations of the earth, and have feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor. He says, as if he were ready to destroy. Where is the fury of the oppressor? When God is taking care of your oppressor, God is about to do that for many of you that are walking in the way, truth, and the life, which is the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. Yes. Yes, you will wonder. Even the psalmist says, I considered the wicked, and I could not find him. He spread himself like a green bay tree, but I looked for him, I could not be found. Oh, you're going to see. Many of you are going to see. God will remove your oppressor because you do that which is right before the Most High. Yes. And he says, the captive exile hasteth that he may be loosed, and he that should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail. But I am that I am thy God, that divided the sea, whose waves war. The I Am of hosts is my name, or his name. I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I might plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say to Zion, thou art my people. You represent me. Yes. The words of the Most High is in your mouth. If you study the law and it goes down. See, they wrote the New Testament. They wrote these letters and they had good intention, I guess. I don't know. But it was a lot of it is false narrative. Yes, false narrative. And it can be used as false narrative. That's why the Bibles that I just tear the New Testament out. I don't even want to deal with them anymore. It's just best to just get a Tanakh or just get the Old Testament, period. He says, and I have put my words in my, and understand them. All of this that Isaiah is talking about the deliverance that shall come with the Persian Empire. With Cyrus, the Most High delivered Israel from its oppressors, Syria, Babylon, and including Persia. They were oppressive until the Most High appeared to him in a dream. Now, I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I might plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people. Do you not know that those people that were in the time of the Assyrian and the Babylonian, even the Persian Empire's conquest, many of them had died. It's like going through the wilderness. Many of them that had transgressed had died. Now here are their children. Here are their children, your Esthers, your Mordecais, Zerubbabel, and all the rest of them. They're alive. They remember the law. They were taught the law in so many ways, but they wanted to know more of the law because they knew it was their way, their heritage. And God was their inheritance as well as they were the Most High's inheritance. They knew that much. But they didn't just go and say, oh, we're just Israelites. We can do what we want to do. We're going to sin. We're going to do all this, but we're Israelites. We're going to lay with each other wives and all this other stuff. God will forgive. No. In the land of Israel, those sins that were worthy unto death were worthy of death. And that's what you would suffer if you were caught. And the Most High made sure you were caught. But the fact is, they would not. They became as liberals. They became as the nations that we see today, liberal. The adulterer was allowed to live. The whoremonger was allowed to live. The murderer was allowed to live. Those things that deleted and degraded human life were allowed to live. The captive, or should I say the kidnappers, allowed to live. Why does God allow them to live to this day? Because your sin allows them to live. Your sin, your transgression, your idolatries. Go back to the mountain which you were hewn, and that was the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. The old landmark. He says now, awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk the hand of the I Am, the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunk the dregs of the cup of trembling and wrung them out. Yeah, your women were raped and your children were dashed against the wall, and all things have happened because of the fury of the Most High. Neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she had brought up. And today, many of the ancestors were cast into the ocean. All kind of contraptions that ever been invented to torment them at the pleasure of their oppressor. Yes, even to this day, things are happening. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Your oppressor is not sorry for you. The ones that say you're cursed because I hang you in a tree is not sorry for you. They're not. That's what they believe. This is where that comes from. Cursed is he that hangeth in a tree. That is and they believe the black man is cursed. But at one time we believed that they were cursed because of the color of their skin. But the fact is, that is not it. The problem is sin. Transgressions against the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances. It's not how a person looks, no. He says, neither is there any that taketh her by the hand, all the sons that she had brought up. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction. That's the only thing. And the famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? In other words, these things are on you. Thy sons have fainted, they lie, and they at head of all the streets as wild bull in the net, and they are full of fury of the I Am, the rebuke of thy God. Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunkard, but not with wine. You're drunk with transgression. You're drunk with the error of your ways. Even Solomon himself says that stolen waters are sweet. You steal another man's wife, and she give that which is not hers away to another man. Yes. Even in her virginity, when she's not married, giving that away which is not hers. It belongs to him who would suit her. It belongs to him who would pay the dowry of virgins. It belongs to him, not no bride price for a woman who had been promiscuous. No, she doesn't get a bride price. She sold everything she has for nothing. And for some of them, you are a baby mama. I'm not talking about to the woman who was put away of her husband. I'm talking about the ones who just played the whore. Now you have a child of whoredoms, which some call even a bastard. Yes. Drunken but not with wine. Thus say the I am. The I am thy God that pleadeth the cause of his people. He's pleading with you, that your mind might know that you have transgressed. I have taken out thine hand the cup of trembling, and the dregs thereof, in my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hands of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, and as the street of them that went over. This has been kind of long, but just trying to make a point here on this Passover. And I named this Passover. You have to pass over. Bow down. And this is what they say today. Bow down that we may go over you. But you must not. You must stand up that you might pass over them. And that the Most High wrath might pass over you. This is what we're talking about. Have your enemies by your righteousness, by the righteousness of the law, which is contained in the law, statutes, and ordinance of the Most High. Not by your own decree, not by your own rules and bylaws, but by what the Most High says and what the Most High says. No, you cannot put the penalty on an adulterer or fornicator, but you can put them out of your company. Or a whoremonger. You can put them out of your company. Don't be despising of a bastard child, because a bastard child had no choice. No. Even, should I say, God chose a bastard child in the book of Judges. You find out who that was. He chose him to deliver Israel. That wasn't his choice. That was the choice of his mother. That was her sin. Yes, not his choice. But the Most High chose him because he chooses those things that are, should I say, that confounds the wise. But the Most High is good. He says, thou hast laid thy body to the ground, to the street of them. Now it's time to stand up and be that which you are, even a child of the Most High, by obeying the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. And then and only then will you have